President Bola Tinubu's initiative to address Nigeria's outdated tax system resulted in the establishment of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee last year. The committee, consisting of officials from diverse sectors, was given the mandate to refine fiscal policies, tax laws, and harmonize tax collection to raise the country's tax-to-GDP ratio to 18%.
Your depth of analysis, innovative ideas.
At the closeout retreat in Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima commends the committee's progress, emphasizing the government's focus on revitalizing revenue generation.
We are not here to frustrate any sector of our economy, but to create an administrative system that ensures the benefits of thriving tax system for all citizens. I am confident that both the federal and state governments stand ready to ensure the effective implementation of your reforms proposals, and we shall provide the institutional framework to guarantee the adoption of the consensus of this committee's work, aligning them with our economic agenda.
Transitioning from initial quick wins to critical reforms, Committee Chair Taiwo Oyedele and highlights the importance of data-driven decision-making to drive effective policy changes.
Our primary mandate is to actually make it easier for Nigerians to do business, to go about their legitimate economic activities in a way that government stimulates and support them rather than trying to tax them upfront. We're not at the point where we're counting our blessings as of yet. The way we were set up was to start with, quick wins, which is out there, and then critical reform is the phase we are concluding today. Then we move into implementation. So we're doing all those harmonization, and we see ourselves proposing the repeal of more than 90% of the number of taxes we have today. So the question you're going to ask us is, how do you reduce and repeal so many taxes, and yet you're planning to almost double the tax to GDP ratio? We rely on data a lot in the work that we do, and the data we have suggests to us that what we call the tax gap is huge, which is made up of compliance, people who are evading taxes, who should be paying. We have policy gap, where we have introduced policies on waivers, incentives, and incentives are good, by the way. We are not discouraging incentives, but if it's not properly done, you may have scenarios where those incentives create economic distortions for people who want to do business. We also have instances where there are no justification from a cost-benefit analysis in terms of the benefit of every naira we spend to the economy. So we think we can also close this policy gap.
Despite the committee's efforts, concerns have been raised by Nigerians over increasing levies and taxes, including the controversial cybersecurity levy, which some feel adds to their financial burden.
So it's a law of 2015. So these are the past issues we are trying to deal with. So that law was recently amended, but even the levy was in the original 2015 version. So you can talk about the rates. So we have to admit and recognize that these problems will not disappear overnight. It's work in progress. So we have not even submitted our work to the National Assembly. Our expectation is, as we progress now from ideation, proposal to implementation, you will see less and less of those issues, and then we see that harmony in the direction of the fiscal system, not only in the number of taxes we collect being very few, with threshold for poor people and small businesses. You would also see an improvement in how those monies are being spent.
Upon completion of its work, it is hoped, among others, the nation will be steered towards achieving economic growth and reduction of Nigeria's reliance on foreign borrowings. Adesua Omorwan, Arise News.